Okay, today is yoga for strength, and the theme of the week is be true. So we're going to use some strength poses to think about the truth of practice. I think our video camera is a little wonky on that side. You see that? Look at our screen. I think we're a little tilted on the chair there. So today is going to be about really thinking about physical strength and how to get into our practice and be truthful in our practice while thinking about physical strength. So the idea of using our practice to locate places where we're strong, places where we're weak, and be honest with ourselves. So a lot of the things that we do, sometimes some repetitive motions that we might do in our practices, we do not mindfully. So begin to land on the ground, come to your back, bring your feet down onto the ground, knees up, and start to ground down, and I'll talk you through some more. So a lot of our practice, especially as we get familiar with things, familiar with poses, we start to do them kind of rote. We don't think mindfully as we move. And a lot of flow classes, as we start to flow and we get really used to the flow, we maybe know where the teacher's going next, we can easily shut down and be far less mindful with our positions. One of the things that used to help me a lot with flow classes is to remind myself that the transition is as important as the pose. So it's back off whenever I was flowing just kind of without thinking. I would back off and say the transition is part of the practice. The transition is part of the practice. So we're going to think about that a lot today. The transition being as important as the pose itself. So start to land on your back, start to get grounded. Start to notice where you are in space. Notice your physical body. Notice what's present. Notice breath in the body. So vinyasa means to move with the breath, moving with the breath. And a vinyasa class is to move and flow with the breath. A lot of people have broken down that to mean a certain flow. There's a part of a sun salutation that has become a regular part of a vinyasa or a flow class, and we're going to think about that today as we move and breathe. But the way to start to be in your practice and be truthful in your practice is to start to know the breath. So how are you breathing? How does your breath feel today? Do you feel tight in the chest? Do you feel like you're starting to already slow your breath down and everything's easy? Notice what is present. And start to imagine feeling every part of your lungs as you breathe in. So you're going to breathe in, feel it coming to your chest, slowly down, filling up into your ribcage space, and then pressing down into your stomach. And then as you breathe out, start to mindfully breathe out. Start to feel your breath as you gently squeeze the muscles of your stomach. Press the air out and feel it coming out of your lungs and then out through your nose. Nice and slow. And see how much of your breath you can connect to. See how much you can actually feel your breath coming in and coming out of your body. And then take your feet far away from you. Stretch your legs long. Take your arms up overhead and reach and stretch like you're waking up for the first time. Really feel every single muscle you can find to squeeze. Reach long. Take a deep breath in, and with the exhale, kind of sigh it out of the mouth and just land on the mat. Really land on your mat. Feel as much of your body as possible on the mat. You are here on this mat right now. Tomorrow is yet to come. Yesterday already happened. Be present with the breath, the body, the position you are on the mat throughout practice. And then we're going to bring our knees in towards the chest and send our feet up to the ceiling. Spread your toes, take ankle circles. Just start to move your feet up above your heart. And we're going to start with a core warming, stomach warming exercise. So this is supposed to generate a lot of heat in the stomach. Begin by pressing your hips down into the ground with the muscles of your stomach. Press your rib cage down into the ground. This should fire up your stomach a lot. All the muscles of your stomach should be fired up just from pressing the hips down, pressing the rib cage down. We're going to inhale as we lower the right foot towards the ground. Exhale as we bring it back up. Inhale as you lower the left. Exhale as you bring it back up. Trying to keep all of the heat, all of the work in the muscles of the stomach. So if you notice your low back is starting to fire up and do a lot of the work, don't lower the foot so close to the ground. My hip. Really kind of get some heat up in the core space. We're going to take it pretty intensely today, so start to get strong in the stomach. Really connecting with your stomach muscles. These are the muscles that protect you as we flow. We need these core strengthened muscles. And then bring your knees in, give yourself a hug. Maybe rock it. And roll on over to a side and come on up to a tabletop position. And we're going to move and breathe in tabletop. So tabletop, inhale, exhale towards a child's pose shape. Starting to just warm and feel the movement. Move with your breath. Try to remain on the mat. Feel your body. And then when you're ready to pump it up, you're going to inhale forward plank. Exhale back down dog. And then as you're moving and breathing here, we're going to try a couple of different things to think about the truth of poses and movements and how they can be entirely different with subtle changes. So you're going to think about moving from your tailbone. Pull your tailbone forward to plank and then pull your tailbone back to down dog. So squeezing, moving from the tailbone, pull forward, engage all those stomach muscles we just used. And then back, thinking about moving from the tailbone. Notice this experience. Feel how this feels. Really thinking and focusing on the stomach muscles. And then change it up. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to press from the balls of the foot, go forward to plank. And then exhale, pull from the heels back to down dog. Inhale, press forward from the legs. Exhale, pull back from the heels. Notice how this subtle change feels different. Still the same movement, subtle change. And then find the stillness of down dog. Let the tension out of your head, turn your world upside down. Take your hands a little bit wider and we're going to do down dog push-ups. So freezing our legs and hips. We're going to think about lowering our shoulders towards the ground. So bend elbows, bring your shoulders towards the ground, and then press up. Nice and engaged in the shoulders and arms. Feel your shoulders and arms. This is me just kind of flopping around, not really thinking. Feel your arms and shoulders. Restrict your movement. Get strong in your shoulders. Bring your hands back to regular dog, and we're going to move and flow. So, trying to just have your regular flow experience. So move, flow, and feel. So we're going to inhale, hop forward, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. Tension out of your head. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. Feel what is present in the body. Are you starting to generate heat? Are you starting to feel tired? Are you starting to feel warm? Start to notice, start to experience. Breathe. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, mountain. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down. Hop back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. How many more do you think you've got in you? Breathe. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back. Forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Breathe. What's going on in your head? Slowly lower the knees and then lower all the way down to your stomach, crocodile pose. So one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Lower down, shimmy the hips, let go, loosen and soften. And what is present? So notice what is present. Maybe there's some heat. Maybe you're tired. And then we're going to think about the truth of what we just did. So some of these patterns are very familiar. Coming down through chaturanga to up dog, very, very familiar flow pose. And then be very honest with yourself. As you were flowing through chaturanga to up dog, were you thinking and being mindful about all the muscles that protect your shoulders? Or are you making sure that you were mindful how you engaged your chest? Were you mindful about where you placed your wrists? Were you experiencing strength and attentiveness in your muscles, or were you just flowing, trying to move through? And then from here, we'll work with the muscles of the back. So slowly beginning to move and breathe again. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Pressing the feet down first. So press the tops of the feet down. See if you can fire up the backs of the legs, the backs of the glutes. All of your back muscles.
Relax with the glutes.
I know. English is hard for me. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower, and then see if you can lift the feet and think about getting long from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head, making more space for your back. Inhale, lift and strengthen, exhale, lower. And then be honest with yourself. Can you lift and hold and breathe and hold this strong? If you can hold this strong, lifting the hands up, holding, and you're comfortable, your back is already at this position, strong here. You can hold a conversation, be honest. If not, you're gonna lift and keep your hands down, and you're gonna take little small turns. You're gonna turn and look at the hip. You're gonna come back to your center and turn and look at the other hip. So little small turns. If you're strong and you know you can hold this without tension in your neck and compensation patterns, you're gonna take your elbow towards the hip. Inhale, center, exhale, squeeze elbow towards the hip. Be true. Take breaks when you need. Let your breath be your guide. When you can no longer breathe with ease, you're done. Take a break. Reset.
Just looked at the way I was holding my arms. It was really awkward.
Bring it down to crocodile. Shimmy the hips, loosen and soften, and notice what is present. And then we're going to work on shoulder strength. So ways to know if our shoulders are truly and utterly ready for the flow and transition of chaturanga. So, tuck your toes.
Don't look at me like that.
This is Kaylee's favorite. She loves this. Tuck your toes. Press your hands in close to your shoulders. Start to press your hands and fire up the chest. You're going to come up about an inch and see if you can hold this. So hold here. Lower the chest down. Take your hands a little bit wider than your mat. Press into the ground. Really strong in the stomach, and then pull your chest up about an inch. Little tiny amount. Squeeze. Press into the hands. Pull up from the wrists. Engage through the shoulders. Hold here. Can you hold this with ease? Lower down. Bring your hands in really close to the body. So maybe traditional chaturanga, the way that a lot of schools teach, bring your elbows in really, really, really tight. Pull them into your body. Press into your hands. Engage your stomach. Pull up and hold about an inch. Hold here. Can you breathe? And then tucking the toes, pulling your stomach, engage. See if you can pull all the way up from here. Hold up to plank. Lower down, back to chaturanga position. What is chaturanga? Chaturanga is arms close, bent, nice and strong, lower and hold. This is chaturanga. Hold and breathe. And then send it back down, dog. Take your break. So, if, like Kaylee, here is what happens when you're not ready. So, taking some breaths in down dog or quitting and face down like Kaylee. Chaturanga can be taken on our knees until we're ready to build strength. So, some ways that it is taught is to hug the elbows in so that you have that strength, squeezing your arms and bringing yourself really tight. So squeeze tight, lower, hold. See if you can do this with your knees down and hold and breathe and be super comfortable. If you can't, maybe you shouldn't be blasting through it if you are being mindful to your system. So start on your knees. Bring your arms into whatever chaturanga shape you have been taught and you have decided that's the one you work with. So bring it in, hold. Engage chest, shoulders, stomach, breathe. See how long you can hold it without starting to struggle with your breath. She's glaring. Okay, so now think about all the ways that your hands and wrists and shoulders can move in. So one of the things to watch for is sinking into the shoulders, buckling. So your muscles are so not strong enough yet and not ready to hold and support your weight, so they start to wiggle around, and that's a lot of time when some of the injuries can happen because not all the muscles are supporting the shoulder. So you're going to come forward. This time you're going to move your hands. So a lot of people don't have that 90-degree bend in their wrist, and when they come down, they're pushing bone into bone and wrist, and this can hurt your hands. So take your hands to a more comfortable position. Make some space for your wrists. Bend the elbows, knees down first, hold. So now, once you get down here, bent elbows, imagine pulling your chest up. So pull your sternum back up. See if you can hold and breathe. Pull and hold. And then be truthful. Is this easy for you? If this is easy for you, tuck your toes, lift and hover the knees, hold and breathe. And then keeping that being truthful with yourself, maybe you can extend the legs, hold and breathe. If you can keep up a conversation and hold this for a very long time, then you're ready for your transitions and moving through chaturanga. So start to play. Start to see where you're at, knees down, starting for chaturanga, building of strength. So bend the elbows, hold your body weight more into the hands, more into the arms and chest. Pull the chest upward, so really strong through the chest. Lift and hover the knees, maybe straighten up the legs, maybe lower the chest a little more, and then maybe transition to out dog. And start again.
I'm practicing my fear.
So Kaylee's spirit animal is a sloth.
Spirit animal is a wolf. I am a sloth.
So starting knees down, engage, lower, hold, breathe. Be true with your strength. Where is it at? Then maybe hover the knees, maybe lengthen the legs, maybe lower, and transition up dog. Back, child, start again. Knees up, bend the arms. Lower, hold, lift and hover the knees, straighten up the legs, forward, and then transition.
I just can't do it with my arms closer together.
You don't have to. So change your arms, that's what I'm saying.
I have more strength if my arms are wide.
Yeah, so do it wide. Bend your elbows, lower, lift and hover. Send your legs straight, and then transition over your toes, forward over your toes. There you go. Bring it up onto your knees. Take your right arm and send it back as far back as it will go. Turn the thumb down. Press, 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 press.
Am I supposed to be turning my torso?
No, you want your torso facing front. Just pull through the shoulder. Press the hand. Slowly bring it back through center. Take take your left hand, place it on the forearm, and press your hand into your forearm into your hand. And then pull the shoulder back and down. So lots of movement and intention in the shoulders. Breathe. Slowly release. Give the arms a shake. Take the left hand out all the way behind you. Turn the thumb down. Press the palm of the hand away. So you're really thinking about pressing and opening up this left shoulder. Slowly bring it back across the body. Right hand catches the forearm. Press forearm into hand, hand into forearm. So opposing forces. Press and then pull that left shoulder back and down. Breathe. We're going to think about transitions. So we're going to start small. So transitions through the shoulders. Place your forearms down. Start to engage your arms. So place your hands down, palms down, forearms press into the ground, and you feel like you're trying to pull them apart. So you're trying to pull your elbows and your hands apart. So engage, pull. This should feel like your shoulders are already firing up. Now pull the sternum upward. So a little bit of a cat shape in your chest. So nice and strong. And then from here, keeping the shoulders super engaged. So you can move back and forth without any muscle engagement. Is this wise? Perhaps not. If you're not moving and engaging and feeling the muscles, you're more prone to move in a way that might injure you. So be mindful. Engage, pull up, nose slightly forward, nice and slow, nose slightly back towards the elbows. So moving through the shoulders back and forth, building strength for that chaturanga transition. So making sure that you can remain engaged, and then if you're ready, you can tuck the toes, lift the knees, take a little more weight onto the shoulders, moving the nose back and forward. And then if you're really tired in the shoulders and you would like to take a break, go ahead and move down to either crocodile or child's. If you would like to come to dolphin, you're going to tippy toe the feet towards the hips and then send the hips up. So once you get the feet a little closer, you want to keep that engagement. You want to still feel like you're pulling your hands apart. You're pulling your elbows apart without letting them move. And then you want to pull up. So pull up with all of the muscles of the back of the arms and the chest and the stomach. Pull up out of the ground. Breathe. And then you can dolphin push up or meet me in child. So dolphin push up. Without engaging the neck and taking any strain into the neck, you're going to move the nose a little bit forward and a little bit back. Same movement we were doing before, but you're going to feel a slight change in the muscles that we're using. And then wherever you're at, meet me in child's pose and flip the palms up. Allow the shoulders to really melt and soften. Take as much tension out of the shoulders as possible. Find your breath. Take the left arm out, even with the left shoulder. Place the palm down. And then turn the shoulder nice and slow towards the ground. So a little just feeling the shoulder, trying to loosen up. Yeah, just roll the shoulder nice and loose. Just kind of feel the muscles around the shoulder. Notice if anything feels tight and grippy.
My stomach is being really loud.
Switch sides. Right hand down and just rolling the shoulder nice and slow, little rolls. Finding just some movement in your shoulder just to see. We use the shoulders a lot, so just feel what feels tight, what feels tired. Notice. And then we're going to go back to down dog. And we're going to do a couple of transitions, trying to be more mindful. So we're going to have the same experience, the same movement, but a little bit different and a little bit more mindful. Changing it up. So send yourself up to a down dog. We're going to take a big inhale and hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and then mindfully step back. So letting go of focusing in being one breath. Mindfully step back. Hold a plank. Find a nice strong plank, chest very, very, very engaged. And then as you take a deep breath in, and as you take one slow exhale, slowly bend the elbows with no goal. So maybe they are just a teeny, teeny, teeny bit bent. Hold, hold, hold. And then inhale, roll over the toes and lift through, up dog. Exhale, lower the chest a little. Inhale, pull up, up dog. Exhale, lower the chest. Inhale, pull up, lengthen, up dog. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up, tuck the toes, down dog. Exhale. Was it a little easier to remain mindful? Maybe you're so tired that it was impossible to be mindful. There are no right or wrong answers, just ways to explore. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and then letting go of being one breath. Step back, nice and slow, and mindfully plank pose. Really slow, set up. Be very strong in your plank. Find your plank. Plank is a pose on its own. Lift up out of the ground, super engaged. Decide how strong you feel in your shoulders. Maybe just a teeny bend in the elbows. Hold. Breathe. Slowly roll over the toes. Come forward. Up dog. Inhale. Exhale, lower just a little. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, lower all the way down, crocodile pose. Show me the hips, let go. And then slowly back to down dog. And I'm done with shoulder work. So now we're going to move and breathe through the legs. So bend the left knee a lot. Take the right leg up. And we're going to bend the heel, bring it towards the bend the knee, bring the heel towards the glute.
How do you bend your heel?
I'm not sure. Let me know if you figure that out. Bend the knee, bring the heel to the glute. Nice and slow. Feel the muscles of the leg. And then keep the heel towards the glute and start to pull the knee out towards the right and around and then back. Out towards the right, around, big circle and back. You're gonna love.
You said we were done with shoulders.
The next move. Lengthen three-legged dog, lower. Big bend in the right leg, send the left leg up, peel the heel towards the glute, and back. Trying to be mindful and engaged in the leg. Bend the heel, bend. Again. It's because you got it stuck in my head now. Bend the knee. Bring the knee out towards the left, round in a big circle, and back. Out towards the left, round in a big circle. Trying to stay engaged in the leg. So this is me rolling my leg around without any muscle engagement. Trying to stay engaged. Feel the muscles of your leg. And then three-legged dog, lower the heel. We're gonna step through to squat. So we're gonna move with our breath, stepping through Malasana. Through Malasana. So Malasana becomes our transition pose. Look forward, right foot forward, left foot forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring it down. Right foot back, left foot back. Left foot forward, right foot forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold, left foot back, right foot back, switch, right foot forward, left foot forward, press through the legs, inhale, rise up, exhale, lower, right back, left back, left forward, right forward, inhale, rise up, and exhale, forward fold, left back, right back, lower the knees, child's pose. Find your breath. Down dog. Lift the right leg high, step through warrior two legs. So lower the back foot down. Come all the way up. Warrior two. Keely's being true to her energy level. So find your warrior two legs. Find your hips open. Lengthen the arms if the shoulders are tired. Don't lengthen the arms, leave the arms down. Maybe take a rest with the shoulders, start to feel the legs. So, are you strong in both legs? Be true in this pose.
During strength classes.
Huh?
Do you make time move slower during strength?
So we're going to think about our legs only. We're going to slowly pull right leg towards straight. Exhale, pull knee forward. Inhale, pull right leg straight. Exhale, pull it forward. If your shoulders are not super tired, you're going to lift arms overhead. Exhale, pull down. Remember, if shoulders are tired, take a break. Think about your legs, engage. Hold warrior two. You're going to take a giant slow circle with your left arm. Nice and slow. Think about just opening up while keeping the legs super strong. Muscles strong, not hanging out in the joints. Legs strong. And then we're going to reach and pull. So reach left arm forward. Right arm can be out or you can be resting. Pull it back. Push forward. Legs strong. Not gripping your toes.
I'm ready for Shavasana. Who said you had to even out?
And then back to warrior two. Reverse your warrior. See if you can flip the palm and move only through the torso. Keep the legs nice and strong, nice and active. Relieve the tension in your neck. And then slowly pivot on the back foot, frame out the front, step back, plank pose, straight to down dog. If you're feeling superhuman and you want a little more challenge before we finish up, we're going to go through a one-legged flow. So if you are not ready for this, if you are tired, go ahead and take child's pose or hang out in down dog. We're going to lift that right leg back up, three-legged dog. We're going to slowly come forward to three-legged plank, keeping that heel lifted and active. Bend the elbows, lower, roll over the toes, keep that leg lifted, tuck the toes, press back all the way, down dog. Lower the leg. And then we're going to slowly lift the left. Step through warrior 2 feet, dropping the back foot down. Inhale as you rise up. Warrior 2, find your base. So really strong legs.
Jeez. Almost fell over.
I mentioned that Kaylee's favorite class is the stay on the mat class, the seated one.
No, my favorite class is Nitra.
Okay, second favorite. Move as little as possible. Find your base. So find your legs. Can you hold some strength in the legs? Both legs active. So really feel like this right thigh is really pulling out and opening the hips. The whole leg is active. We're not just hanging out and pressing the foot down only and really taking it all into the ankle joint. You're pulling up out of the ground with all of the muscles of the leg really strong, active. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, lower nice and slow with your breath. Inhale, lengthen. Remember, be true. If your arms are tired, take them out of the game. We're just working through the legs right now.
I'm not tired, I'm just lazy.
Move with your breath. And then hold the warrior 2. Reassess your base. Make sure the legs are still strong and active. We're going to take large reverse circles with that right arm. Really opening, thinking about a soft right shoulder. Find your breath. And then reach and pull. So reaching forward, pull back with the right arm, press forward. So we inhale as we draw back, exhale as we press forward, trying to stay strong in the arm and shoulder. And then warrior 2 legs. Nice strong base. Pivot on the back foot. Frame out the front. Left foot meets right. Oh. Or completely ignore me and go into a reverse warrior because Kaylee is the one paying attention today. So come on back up. Warrior 2. Hold your warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. See if you can keep it strong through the legs. No tension in your neck. See, it was because you were complaining that you wanted to be on the mat and you didn't want to be even.
I did say
warrior 2. Pivot on the back foot. Frame out the front. Left foot meets right, down dog. And then either Mimi and child or crocodile. Take a break. Or if you're not extremely tired, we're going to go through the one-legged flow. So left leg high, long and strong, whole body strong and active. Slowly pull through to three-legged plank. Lift and hold. Slowly bend the elbows, roll over. Right toes, lift up. Keep that leg lifted. Tuck the toes, pull back, three-legged dog. And then lower and Mimi and child. We're all done. So let go. So options for arms here. You can flip the palms and let the hands and shoulders soften. You can bring blocks into the game. And place the back of the elbow, not the elbow joint, onto a block. And let your shoulders soften between the blocks, feeling a little lengthening. If this is too intense, careful, be mindful, be true to your own body, your own holding patterns. If you like, for comfort in this pose, you can interlace your fingers and wrap them around your head. So we're not pushing down into our head, we're kind of pushing our head a little bit back up into our hands. And we're thinking about the feeling of our head being protected, supported, a little compressed, like a little hug around our head, wrapping ourselves in a little protective shell. Slow your breath. Land back on the mat. Notice where the thoughts begin to go as we slow down. Maybe you're already racing off the mat. Maybe you're already in what's to come next. Maybe you're cursing because you didn't like something in practice. These are all things that happen, all experiences. Neither is valid or more valid than the other. Just as moving and flowing is not less valid than moving with mindfulness, one way to do it, one way to have an experience. Many different ways, many different styles, many different humans. So slowly come on out of your child's pose and make your way with care slowly down onto your back. So start with your feet down, knees up. Taking your time coming down. So start with feet down, knees up, and sway the legs slowly. So you're going to let the right leg come towards midline slow. Feel the front of the right hip, mindful of the knee. And then slowly bring the left knee in towards midline, right knee just falls open. So really just starting to feel what is present around the hips and the legs. Keeping the shoulders and the torso kind of soft and relaxed. Move. Find a little flow through the hips and legs. Feeling your feet, your hips, your legs, especially what's present in front of the hips and in the low back. This is kind of our fight or flight space. And a lot of times we hold a lot of tension in this space and we're completely not consciously aware of it. So start to take movements that help you connect with this space so that you can feel it. And then bring both feet very wide, so about mat width. Let your knees come in towards midline so they rest against each other. And then we're gonna let our hip wiggle side to side. Our hips wiggle side to side, just a little, teeny little shake. So just trying to be loose in the legs. We're thinking about just wiggling our hips. Think about if you had like a grass skirt on and you were trying to shake it as much as possible with your hips. Think about those Hawaiian skirts, the grass skirts that make lots of rustling. See if you can shake your hips, shake your hips, shake your hips, loosen and soften. Take a deep breath in. With the exhale, land. See how the body feels. So notice what is present in the knees, the feet, the hips. Start to feel the stomach muscles. Start to check in on the muscles of the neck. Maybe roll the head a little. Start to check in on the muscles of the shoulders. So we really worked the shoulders.
Can you let your shoulder blades really, really, really drop into the ground? Maybe you need to wiggle around a little. And think about the muscles of the chest and think about them softening. Maybe you need to flip the palms up, bend the elbows, adjust, start to see where you're at. And then make a decision about where you want to be for your resting pose from here. Maybe corpse pose is it for you today, lengthening. Maybe you want to put something under the knees. Maybe you want an entirely different position. So start to make choices about where your body is going to be at rest. So the ending pose is the resting pose, rest. You want to be as close to being a corpse as possible. So soft, no muscle tension. Letting go, surrendering. So sometimes as we have these experiences and try to draw attention to experiences on our mat, the cognitive mind, desperate to be able to categorize and explain and define and label everything, starts to do that labeling. So be mindful of your mind. So check in. That's part of the experience. It's not that one way is right and one way is wrong. It is not that we must do certain things to be getting it right or do things in a certain way to get it right. We're trying to have an experience, but if that little judgy part of ourselves is coming up in our practice, this is a wonderful time for us to get to know another part of ourselves, the ego talking, or the cognitive mind categorizing and trying to overly define our world in a world that is not necessarily easily defined. So our cognitive brain helps us a lot in categorizing things and labeling things and putting things into systems so that we can better comprehend them can be helpful, but they are not precise, exact black and white ways. The world just does not fit in that way, and even our truth is not black and white. Truth is one way for one person and another way for another person, even in the same experience. Truth can also be one way for you right now, and tomorrow, when you're in a completely different mood, could be something completely different. The same experience could have a completely different truth for you. So nothing is constant and solid. Everything changes and moves. And the more that we begin to let go of muscular tension and land on our mats, the more that we can begin to let go of that mental grasping, that ego grasping, energetic grasping, holding tension, holding our energy, all the layers of ourselves grasp and tighten. And the grounding pose at the end of the practice is the letting go, the surrender. And the common quote that helps me, I see this quote a lot, it comes up in my life a lot, I guess I'm supposed to read it and remember it. Surrender can simply be understanding that not everything is to be understood. So we have wonderful cognitive, scientific minds that want to categorize and label, but maybe the more that we let go of the absolute desperation for these categories and labels, the more comfortable our lives will be. Surrender is letting go. So today's practice, being truthful to surrender and letting go. Watch the mind. Watch the thoughts. And as something comes in, maybe you get a visual, maybe you get a memory, maybe you've got a to-do list, maybe anything, whatever comes up. See it. Notice if you have the need to label it or define it or understand it, why it is, where it is, what it is. And then see if you can just imagine letting it pass. So seeing the visual, the thought of your mind and letting it slide by. So rather than grasping it, holding it, defining it, letting it go, pass on by. So you can imagine a visual to help you with this. If you're a very visual person, it can be helpful to imagine your thoughts becoming like a movie screen on the back of your eyes. And you're just going to let it pass by, somewhat visual. You can imagine it being like a cloud in your vision. And just as clouds move slowly across the sky, the cloud, the thought, is just going to slowly pass on by. So letting go. Because once we let go of this cognitive grasping and the ego's desperation to define and label, we can get more easily in tune with our innermost self, our truth, our inner wisdom. You have the time to spend resting and practicing letting go. Go ahead and turn us off. Spend some more time. Take the time you need in your resting pose. You need to finish up at 60 minutes. We are coming right up on that 60-minute mark. So begin to bring some awareness back to the physical body. Take some wiggles of the toes and the fingers, and maybe trusting in that inner wisdom of your body, take a sudden stretch. So without cognitively thinking about it, just lengthen your body, stretch and wiggle, and bring a little tension into the body. Notice if you get some creaks and groans. Notice your body's inner wisdom. This is part of your truth, your inner wisdom. Your body knows what it needs. It knows on a very deep level, and we tune that out and try to over-explain it with the cognitive head, or we just plain ignore it. I like to say our body is sending us messages all the time, and our job is to tune in while it's whispering before it's screaming, because eventually the body does scream. That's when we start to feel pain, when we start to really be restricted in our comfort in our life. So begin to roll yourself over onto your side in a fetal position, whatever side is calling to you. Releasing into the ground just a little bit more and thinking about your innermost layer, your bliss layer. Maybe thinking about being a little closer to it, a little further away from the thoughts, a little further away from the distractions of the world, and a little closer in towards your center point. Perhaps thinking for a few breaths about the I being more than just your thoughts. So we often say, I am angry, I am happy, I am this, I am that. So we are more than these thoughts we are thinking. We are more than just these feelings we are having. There's something else. There's the feeler, the experiencer that brings all these parts of us together. That part of us connecting within, finding our bliss layer, our truth layer, our essence. And slowly coming on up to a seated position, bring your hands to prayer heart space and complete your practice with a ritual of honoring that inner bliss. So honoring your own inner wisdom, but knowing that yoga is not a selfish practice. It is a practice that is to lead us to more comfort so that we can help others be more comfortable in their lives too. So thinking about this inner bliss in ourselves and being a little more connected to it, and then thinking about sending out that bliss to others in our lives. So we do the inner work so that we can help others and be of service. Light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. May we all know a little more connection, a little more compassion, and a lot more community and connection in our life. Thanks for joining us.